So we're talking about liberation here when you release judgment of yourself. It's probably one of the most challenging things that we come to learn in this lifetime. It's really hard because we already know our own story. So we have a lot of judgment about what we did or what we didn't do or blah, 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 this, that, and the other. I tend to look at my life and I used to judge myself from my life and I judged myself really harshly, and that's just what we do. And I looked at myself and it was very defeating to my being. I was not able to really come into my fullness because I had so much judgment about myself. It stopped me from doing anything because I thought I wasn't worthy. I thought that that there was something inherently wrong with me. So I had a lot of judgment. But then as I grew, and I'm 61 years old now, so I'm coming to understand things in a different way. And what I came to understand as I'm looking back on my life, that I didn't do anything wrong. I just made choices and decisions that created outcomes that I wasn't expecting. There was nothing wrong with it. I just made a choice that created an outcome that I maybe didn't desire, right? But there was nothing wrong with me for making that choice or whatever. It just wasn't wrong. So I've come to look at everything in my life as a blessing, like all of those things that used to be my traumas. I've converted them into blessings. I've looked at what is the good that came out of that? What did that do for me? What did I learn from that? What was the gift and all of that? Sometimes it's really hard to see, right, based off of the kind of trauma that you're dealing with. However, there is always something that emerges as a gift to you from that. So once we can get past that state of judging ourselves and just realizing that we're just here on this amazing journey of just discovering who we are, remembering who we are, right? We make these choices sometimes that create outcomes that we're not expecting. So we can release with that knowing, once we know that's true, we can release all judgment to ourselves, right? And this is the power, because when you can so there's a way that I do that. There's a way that I view myself with no judgment. I had an incident the other day with my sister. It triggered me. There were things that were going on with me. I was in the middle of it, right? I was in it, right? My 3D body, my whole consciousness was in it. And so I was experiencing it, all the emotions, all the feels, all the frustration, all the right? But once I got a moment to just get outside of it, like step outside. So I envisioned my being, my eternal being, moving outside of the body and just kind of sitting behind my head like you would in a bleacher and just observing me and that whole thing. Right? Without any judgment. Oh, look at this is what she's doing. Oh, look. Okay. And so what does that mean? What are the thoughts that she's having? And I'm talking about me. What is she thinking? What are the thoughts that she's having? Why is she responding this way? What's triggering her? Right? But there's no judgment around it. When I can do that, then I can actually bring solutions. I can actually see myself in a different way, and I can change the outcome. I can make a new choice. So I made a new choice with my sister. I said, okay. I sat with it. And I made a new choice with my sister, and I offered a new opportunity. And she was like, yes, that's, and perfect, right? But I released myself from that. So this no judgment thing is so powerful, because when we judge ourselves, we hold ourselves back. When we think that we're not worthy of having what we desire, that's a huge one, and we hold ourselves back. And I'm going to tell you something here that I want you to drink in deeply. You've already won. You've already won. You've made it. You know that there were like 4 billion sperm, and you were the one that made it down the canal to the egg. That right there, you're a winner. You're already on top of the game. You're already deserving. Just because you did that, just because you were the one that came down the tunnel, right? The channel into the light and emerged in a physical form, right? Do you know how many beings, how many wanted to have this experience, and it was only limited to a few? You made it. Just on that alone, you're a miracle already, right? And so this idea that you have that you're not worthy to have these things, that you don't deserve it, that's all stuff that you've been programmed, because you didn't come into the world thinking that. You came into the world as a being. You entered into the light, and you came into the world as a perfect, pure being from your pureness, right? There was no judgment. You were perfect. You were divine. Right? But then things happen, and we get these ideas about, we judge ourselves, people judge us, we take that on. All that stuff is after the fact. When you came in, you're a perfect human being. You won the race. You're a miracle. The fact that you're even here in a physical body, just think about that. So you're already a miracle. So all these judgments that you have, that you're not worthy or that you don't deserve this, release them. Stand in the knowing of, oh my gosh, new affirmation. I am a miracle. I am a miracle. I am a winner. I won the race. I'm here. This is like winning the lottery. Don't judge yourselves. All judgments came after you came into this world. You were born with no judgment. You were born in absolute divine perfection. That's the state that we want to restore. That's what we want to remember about ourselves, not all this other that people have laid on us, or these things that aren't true about us, like that we're not worthy, that we don't deserve that, or we'll never amount, blah, 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 blah. So, all right. I talked for a minute.
That was great. Wow.